Hello, beautiful pageant friends, and welcome to the amazing, incredible Artistry by Amanda. Miss Amanda Cave is online with me today, and this is something that, Amanda, we have waited almost a year to
I
get together
know.
and do this. And I'm so excited because we're going to do makeup today. And I'm so grateful that you have offered to do a tutorial with me for pageant makeup. And so we're going to talk today about appearance and or interview look. That's the look that we're actually going to do together. And then we're also going to talk about how stage makeup, competition makeup might be slightly different than what we would do for an appearance or for a day look for like an interview. And we're also going to talk about things that may differ among systems. So primarily my familiarity is with the Miss America and the Miss USA systems, but I also have worked with women in the volunteer organization and the National American Miss Organization. I know you have a lot of experience with a lot of different pageant systems, and you're familiar with the different looks that each system is kind of going for and the similarities among the systems. So I'm excited to jump in with you and talk about all these things today. So tell me where you would like to start.
Well, we could start by talking about some questions and answering questions first if you wanted to do that, and then we could get
Sure.
into our look.
Yes, yes. So my first question that I would like for you to touch on is how do we prepare the face for good makeup? Someone said at one point when I was young, not saying that I'm not still young, but when I was younger, that the best way to have great makeup is to have a great base to put the makeup on, and then you can trust that your makeup will look its best and it will last and it will stay in place. So maybe share with me a little bit about how you recommend women prep their skin before they come and sit in your chair.
Awesome. Yeah. So I think that everybody's skin is different, right? So if someone comes to me without having their skin prepped, I ask them a lot of open-ended questions to explain, how they take care of their skin normally, if they have dry skin, if they have oily skin, and to get some information there so I can figure out what I want to use. A lot of girls are very passionate about their skincare already, so I will ask them to come with their skincare on. And then for our teenagers, maybe they need to get a facial before a pageant, maybe like a week before they've got dry skin or acne that they want to take care of before they come in, and that'll make things easier for me during the process. So it's not just day of taking care of your skin, it's taking care of your skin all the time. Washing regularly, having good products that you like and know that they look good underneath of makeup too. Thinking about the different things that are in your products. So if you're using an oil-based moisturizer and then a water-based foundation, how's that going to mesh? So those are some things to think about. I have already prepped my skin. I can talk a little bit about what I did.
Okay.
So I have very red skin. So I've been using the Dr. Jart products to help get rid of some of the redness. So I used a serum first, and then I put an intense moisturizer on top of that. And so that's kind of the prep that I did today.
Okay, great. And I also prep my skin, so I cleansed, and then I also added I like to use hyaluronic acid before I get started, just for a little bit of extra plumping, because I'm at the age where I'm fighting fine lines and wrinkles. And I always
Same.
like to have that little bit of extra plump, little bit of extra hydration underneath. And then I added a moisturizer that also has an SPF in it. And then the one thing that we were talking about before we jumped on is that neither one of us have used our primers yet today. And so talk a little bit about why you might use a primer before you start in on applying makeup.
Mhm. Yeah, so people have many different reasons that they would use a primer. One of the most beneficial is it makes your makeup stay on longer. Others, maybe they have large pores, they have textured skin that they want to smooth out. And because everybody's skin is different, there are so many different options out there. I pulled one that I like that I use pretty regularly that's a low price point. It's called Freezy. It's from NYX. It's a nice cooling effect on the skin. It gives like a nice smooth appearance and it helps the foundation stay on longer. So that's a nice one that if a girl doesn't know a lot about their skin, that I'll probably use for them. I
Okay.
also pulled out the Professional, which is one that I really like from Benefit, and that will fill in any pores, like large pores on the nose, and just give you a smoother surface.
Hmm.
What
We
are
like
you Amazing.
Yeah, today, well, I worked in medical skincare when I was
Mhm.
younger, uh, and I was a spa manager for a medical aesthetics practice for a
Ooh,
few years. And so I got to look at all the fun products that came
nice.
both for skincare and for makeup. And the one that I just got hooked on over the years, they don't have strong pigments, but they do have really pure ingredients, and that is the
Mhm.
Jane Iredale line, which I really love. And for me, for most day wear that I do, there it goes on very light, and it doesn't, the makeup itself doesn't feel super heavy to me. So much of what I have is Jane Iredale, but I do know that when I was competing, I know that especially for on stage when you're under the lights,
Mhm.
it's recommended that you use different products. That's something that has more pigment, that you can layer, and also that will have better coverage and also better staying power.
Mhm.
I don't know that I would recommend the Jane line for that kind of a look, just because it's not quite weighty enough, but I feel like it's great for me for day wear.
Perfect. I love that. Another one that I pulled out that I use a lot for maybe someone with more textured skin is the Milk
Ooh.
Hydro Grip. That one is really nice. You have to be a little careful with how you use it. You put it on fairly thick and then let it dry, and then are really careful when you apply the foundation on top, but it creates a really beautiful, smooth surface, and it helps with making the makeup really last.
That'd be a great one. So I wanted to talk with you and talk about makeup lasting. I'm going to go
Mhm.
ahead and put my primer on while I'm asking you this question so that
Cool.
we don't lag too much here with, because I'm a
Mhm.
slow makeup applier, especially since tutorial. I'm sure I'm going to learn some things here today that I've not tried before. And so I wanted to ask you when we talk about, I know that you work with women who are in the thick of it, right, in terms of pageant competition. So
Mhm.
maybe they're up at, 6 o'clock in the morning for a rehearsal that starts at 8 a.m. and they don't have time to do a full face of makeup before they go rehearse. And then that afternoon or evening, they have appearances and other things going on. So I'm just curious how you would recommend timing makeup application when you're in the competition mode, the competitive mode, especially like if you have an interview day or if you have actual competition or if you have rehearsals and then appearances.
Yeah, so for pageant weeks, I'm often there doing makeup, and there are times where I can only see the girls in the morning and then they have a show in the evening. And that was the case for Miss America last year. I would see my contestants in the morning at before 7 a.m., give them a little touch-up bag for the day, and then I'd see them again on stage. I wouldn't get to see them.
Wow.
So what I'm working at achieving is making sure that makeup really stays on for them so that all they need to do is blot any oil and put on a fresh lipstick
Okay, that's
before they
awesome.
hit this stage.
So
So
you
that's
don't want that
something
makeup breaking or cracking during the
exactly.
course of the day. And so using a good primer, like say the
Mhm.
milk primer, would really help that to have that staying power.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said before, really taking care of the skin beforehand too, not just expecting that I'm going to work magic. If you get a facial and you're washing your face every day and you're using good skincare, you're giving me a better canvas to work with throughout the week of a pageant too.
Yeah, for
And then
sure.
the girls that are doing their own makeup at a pageant, they're still getting ready at 7 in the morning. They may be able to do more touch-ups later, but they're never going to take their whole face off and start over because they're busy. They're
Right.
in rehearsals, they're going to some sort of appearance throughout the day, then they're going back and doing a show at night, and they have 30 minutes to get themselves ready.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rapid pace. We're not starting with a full cleanse and doing it all from
Exactly.
the very beginning.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So and I did want to ask you about that. During competition weekend or competition week, we are probably wearing more makeup than we typically would. We're also probably removing and then adding makeup maybe more often than we're outside of our normal routine. We're under stress. We're maybe in a different climate. Do you have any recommendations for cleansers or for makeup removing cloths or I know like Neutrogena makes the travel wipes that you can just take all your makeup off with and then you can cleanse afterwards if we're at the end of the day. Is there a brand that you recommend that's not drying, not irritating that you think have seen works well for your clients?
I don't have one that I love more than the other as far as the makeup wipes go. I would say try some out before,
Yeah.
because what makes my skin feel sensitive might not make someone else's skin feel sensitive. I've used some of the Neutrogena ones and they make my face red and irritated, but my face gets red and irritated really easily. Some girls swear by those and love them. So I would say find the one that works best for you, spend some time doing some research and see what's best, because I've had girls at pageants that are like, oh my gosh, I didn't bring any makeup wipes or cleansers with me to remove this. At the end of the night, I sat in the shower and washed my face 4 times and I couldn't get all my eyeliner off. And I'm like, oh no. um, but yeah, so spend some time and find out what works best for you and your skin. Going into places like Sephora and Ulta and just asking them, telling them about your skin and what you're looking for. They're really great at helping too.
Mhm.
And I'm always happy to help girls too if they reach out to me via Instagram or wherever to ask some questions too. I'm happy to help if they need recommended recommendations for themselves. I generally keep like the Target brand of the Neutrogena wipes in my bag, and I really like those.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Great. All right. So what do we've got our primer on. What do you normally go to next?
So I generally start with the eyes. And the reason for that is it can get messy.